And now, live in studio, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
Yes, here we are again, another day committed to picking a fight with the mainstream media and always providing you the timely truth. Tampa Bay and the Gulf Coast region's #1 consumer advocate program here, helping you win in any marketplace. That is our goal.
The only thing I'm addicted to right now is winning.
Now, we want to make sure you save our hotline number in your phone. At some point, you may need it. 813-670-7372. That's our consumer advocate hotline number. It's an off-air number. You can call or text our 813-670-7372.
Used to call me on my cell phone.
And save that number in your phone. At some point, you're going to need it. Also, bookmark our website, consumerqb.com. You can see links there to all of our expert contributors. You can submit an email form directly through to myself and my team, and we're going to make sure we get right back to you before our head hits the pillow. And as you know, this segment is brought to you by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Realty, helping you win in your real estate negotiations. Got a $2 million listing we just took over the weekend, Harbor Point in Port Richey. This is a gorgeous property, $1.999 million. Beautiful 6,600 square foot home, and it has, of course, bay access. We got professional photography coming very soon on this. 4348 Harbor Point Drive, Port Richey, Florida, and it is right on the point of Port Richey at the end of the Bay Drive there. And if you go to the end, you actually have 2 security systems to go through. You got 2 security gates that you're going to get through to Harbor Point. We flew up in the plane yesterday. Actually, we're filming this property, so we're going to get creative with some really cool video content like we do with the American Dream television show and the Consumer Quarterback show here with the Platinum MVP team at Keller Realty. And we got a property on Periwinkle as well in Pinellas County. This one is down in Seminole. It's on Periwinkle, 13400 Periwinkle Avenue in Seminole. 3-bedroom, 2-bath property, corner lot. Lots of extras, and it's a gorgeous opportunity in beautiful Tampa Bay. Fenced-in backyard, concrete block structure, 2-story home, and a great opportunity to purchase real estate here in one of the hottest top 10 markets in the country, and that is Tampa Bay. And we also have the Tampa Build Expo coming up. I want to tell you about the Tampa Build Expo. We're going to be there. We're going to have a double booth, 10 by 20 booth, and we're inviting some of our show partners to come as well if you'd like to join us with this. But the Tampa Build Expo, Florida's largest building and construction show, is returning to the Tampa Convention Center on November 6th and 7th. This huge show features thousands of innovative products and services at show special pricing, live demos, and over 25 industry-leading classes, including accredited sessions. If you're a contractor, builder, architect, engineer, designer, property manager, anyone involved with the building and construction industry, you can't afford to miss this show. Secure great pricing on products and services you need. Stay up to date on industry trends and network with thousands of key industry decision makers. The best part is that it's all free for industry pros. Sign up at buildexpousa.com. buildexpousa.com or call 877-219-3976, 877-219-3976. Build your business at Build Expo. All right, it's Intelligent Talk Radio. We've got some intelligent folks here in studio. Let's jump right into it. We got Chris Hatfield in the studio. Tampa Screens and Aluminum. Welcome back, sir.
Doing very good, Brandon. We got 900 people moving to Florida on a daily basis, 300 of which are coming to the Tampa Bay area. Couldn't be a better time to be in sales.
Great stuff, man. It's great stuff. We got Chris Hatfield, the screen man. We got the Tin Man, also Fred Muth in the studio from time to time. And also our friend Nick DeVito back in studio. Welcome back in, Nick.
Thank you, Brandon. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate being here. As we said before, I'm relatively new to this aspect of the real estate. I'm an old hand in construction and real estate many years, but since I've been involved here, I found out this place is a gold mine for information. The format is just really easy to follow, and I've gotten people call back and say, this is a great place for me to learn and get information, buy and sell, and so on. So I'm so happy to be here. Really appreciate
Thank you. Yeah, absolutely. We appreciate it. We take great pride in being that consumer advocate, helping people understand about their buying decisions, and the area that you work in is lease to own properties. So this is a big one, I think, for real estate agents, a lot of realtors, mortgage folks out there, people involved in the industry, title, investors. This is something you want to listen to, because this is one of those programs, Nick, that can increase your income. Because if you have a buyer that is looking to purchase a property, they fall in love with the home, they just can't come up with the financing, credit score dropped, whatever. They bought a car, their debt ratio is off, but they have money for down payment. You've got a unique program for them.
We do, and it's kind of like a second chance or a third chance even for a lot of people if they've had bankruptcy, foreclosure, tax lien. A lot of people fall on hard times either through mistake, or sometimes it's not a mistake, it's just inexperience. Those are the people we're here to help. First and foremost, I always say, look, if you can get a bank loan, if you can get especially a Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, any of those loans, let's go do it. And I recommend how they can do that. But if they cannot, and that's the case in many, many circumstances, it's not a big segment of the market, but a little, 2 or 3% of our market is a huge thing. But I also want to add in, we didn't talk before about people that want to buy, fix, and sell. We typically call them flippers.
Yeah.
Banks do not like flippers. It's just too risky. So I'm not trying to say banks are our enemy, but banks will not lend money to you unless you don't need it. I mean that seriously.
Yeah.
In my case, I don't have that much cash around, but I do have properties. I cannot borrow money to acquire more properties. What I have to do is borrow against an existing building that has equity. Now, a lot of younger people, Chris and I talked about this just pre-show in the conference room. I don't have a house, so it's catch-22. I don't have equity. I want to build some. How do I do it? I can't get it.
Right.
Now, that same thing happens when people want to move up into, as Chris does, I want to buy, fix, and sell, be a flipper. It also comes into play with people that want to buy and build a portfolio, as I did years and years ago when I was a young man, wanted to keep up. So if we're not just targeting consumers, we're targeting people that want to be landlords, small businessmen. We have a couple of car lots, 3 or 4 car lots, small businessmen. Bank doesn't want to touch them. And we're moving now into B&B, which is a big growth market. People have real estate. It's just not doing well on a month to month, so they rent it day to day, week to week. It's a good market, but here's the big problem. Banks will not lend you money to buy or develop a B&B. Again, unless you don't need it. They'll lend you money on your house, they'll lend you money on your building, but they will not lend you money on your name unless you sign a document where you will live in that house and not rent it.
Primary residence, yeah.
So we're an alternative. Any of those things that we just talked about, if you need help on those things, call me. Again, if you can go to a bank, and I'll tell you immediately once I talk to you, within 15 minutes, I'll know if you can go to a bank or have a chance. If you do not have a chance and you don't mind paying a small premium, I guarantee you we'll get you in the house. Any property, anywhere, for any client, anytime.
Yeah, exactly. So we're talking with Nick DeVito, lease to own properties, and he has the different scenarios. Talked about a move up, talked about a B&B. So when you say B&B, you mean bed and breakfast, right? Yes. And then car lots as well. So those entrepreneurs out there that they can make money flipping cars, moving some inventory. This is a unique style of lending that Nick can do. And I go back to the real estate example. A lot of times buyers for real estate properties, let's just talk about, for example, somebody that wants to occupy a home. They're going to be excited. They're going to start shopping. They're not going to go get their pre-approval yet. And I'm talking to Diane Vance over at Fairway Independent Mortgage, our mortgage partner on the show, and a local lender, of course, and they're great company. But when you think about that scenario, if something happens, they fall in love with the house. So they love the screen room that Tampa Screens and Aluminum put on the back. They love the pool that's back there. They love everything about the home. However, they don't have the ability to get that type of a loan. We find out that something's wrong with their credit, or their something changed with their dynamic. But as long as they have 10 to 15% down, Nick, is essentially what you look for, 10 to 15% down, then you can buy that home for them and then lease it back to them and then take it from there. Some really good incentives.
Absolutely. I know you don't want to keep jumping in, but also the small business people, I was just recently this last year surprised to learn, doctors we've got a medical office building up here in New Tampa, off of Bruce B. Downs. Very, very qualified, lovely lady doctor. Has her practice. She said, I'm tired of paying rent. I'd like to buy a building. Went down to the bank. I own my own house. I have good credit. Bank won't loan me money for my office building. I said, I can't believe that. You're a doctor, medical, and so on. Yes, I am.
Wow.
But that's the case. I said, okay, I bought the building. It's up Bruce B. Downs. Well, when I say that's true. It's not the whole truth. My partners and investor partners, authorized.
It's a group. Yeah.
Group. Most of it's my money. But anyway, we bought the building, put the doctor in. She's tickled pink.
Nice.
She wants to run that lease out, and she already told me she's buying the building out at the end. She's a younger doctor. She's got her plans all set. So doctors, retail people, car lots, house flippers, and of course consumers.
Yeah, I like that idea because now, and back to the example of what I was talking about, buying a single family home, or for example, this doctor, now they go in there, they've got a deal with you on paper. They know that if they renovate the kitchen, or for the doctor's example, if she knocks down a wall and makes it more suitable for her practice, those are the improvements that she's going to be able to see the benefit of.
Exactly. She put in an x-ray room. X-ray rooms ain't cheap.
Yeah.
So yeah, exactly. But she said, I'm putting this x-ray room in here. It's never going out. I'm never leaving this place.
Yeah.
She's going to run that lease out. She's going to buy the place.
I love it.
I wind up with a doctor. I don't want to mention names. I don't have authority to mention her name, but anything that I need, and I've got a big family. She says, bring them in. What's the deal? You want to come in Sunday morning, Tuesday night? I don't care. So I made a friend and her husband's an attorney.
That's awesome.
Good friends to have.
Yeah, good friends doing those deals, and so if you have a scenario, because there's a lot of mortgage real estate folks that listen to this show, business owners, text lease to own, or text Nick, just text Nick DeVito. I'll put you in touch with Nick to our hotline 813-670-7372. That's our consumer advocate hotline number. Text lease to own or whatever you're interested in. Nick DeVito even uses his name, lease to own, to 813-670-7372. And you can also submit an email form at our website, consumerqb.com. This way we'll put you right in touch with Nick, and then he's going to be able to help you on the back end put these deals together. These are creative deals, and what I love about it is it's a local solution to a local problem. In some, a lot of these cases, you're not dealing with the national banks here. We're not talking federal. This is local business people helping each other out, putting common sense deals together that make sense here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. And we come back more from Chris Hatfield as well, Tampa Screens and Aluminum. We got Nick DeVito in studio here, lease to own properties, and more from our expert contributors. We have a feel-good story of the day as well. Follow us online. We'd love to connect with you online at Brandon Rhymes1 on Instagram and Twitter, the Consumer Quarterback Show page out there. We've got a YouTube channel. Follow us online, and we would love to connect with you and follow you back as well. So we'll see you right after this short break. Don't go anywhere.
Thanks for listening to my daddy's show. For more information, go to consumerqb.com.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
This is the Cannabis Podcast, powered by Trulieve on Radio Influence. It's an inside look and the scientific facts in and around the world of medical cannabis. Now, here is your host, Ian Beckles.
He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
and sing. Majesty.
You're listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for sticking with us. Brandon Rhymes here. I'm your host of the Consumer Quarterback Show, published author and professional speaker. Check out our book on Amazon, Become the MVP in Your Industry by Surfing the Radio Waves. We'd love for you to check out a copy of that book. I also teach branding and negotiation at different organizations and clubs, most notably the Greater Tampa Realtor Association, as well as the Pinellas Realtor Organization and Keller Williams offices throughout the state of Florida as well. So we'd love to talk to you about that. Check us out online, consumerqb.com. consumerqb.com is our website. You can see all of our real estate properties at platinummvpteam.com as well, platinummvpteam.com. We got a couple of hot ones here. We got a property on Mandalay Avenue on the beach. 861 Mandalay is on Clearwater Beach. 200 steps and you are on the soft sands, the sugar sands of North Clearwater Beach, dolphin-filled waters as well. 2-bedroom, 2-bath beach house property, $700,000. There's actually a third bedroom. We can't count it technically, but a great opportunity to live in beautiful Clearwater Beach here in Tampa Bay. Also, property on Schooner Way. This is a property that is in the Bayport area, town and country. You've got a gated community here, bay access, so you've got your own private dock, freshwater access through the lake with a lift system out into the upper Tampa Bay. And you can take the boat out to dinner, dine on the water from Schooner Way right there in Tampa Bay. Beautiful properties. Check out all of our listings at platinummvpteam.com.
Somewhere sunny and 75.
All right, so we're back here in studio. We talked with Nick DeVito in the first segment here, talk about lease-to-own property, some of that creative-type financing and opportunities for real estate. Now we're talking to Chris Hatfield, one of our long-term expert contributors here on the show. Tampa Screens and Aluminum, welcome back in, sir.
Thanks for having me. I've been out there. It's been definitely hot summer.
Yes,
it's nice to get back in here with the air conditioning and talk with you guys for a nice hour.
Yeah, and we're coming into that season where you want to utilize that in-between space at your home.
That's the thing.
You get tired of being in the air conditioning, you want to go out, but it's a little bit humidity, out you go all the way out to the lake and whatnot. You come out, you have that screen room on the home. I love that area.
For a couple of weeks, we just got that heat holding on right now, but as soon as it starts to get in, right around Halloween, right to Thanksgiving, that's when we get that first cold front. I actually saw the News 13 meteorologist this morning saying October 22nd, we were expected to get 50-degree weather.
Nice.
That's great. When that stuff starts popping off, that's when my customers, all of a sudden, my phone goes insane.
Yeah.
And it's because of the fact that everybody wants to get out there and enjoy that. They're gonna, the leaves are gonna fall, the this, the that, but they're gonna be outside watching their TVs. They set up. It's amazed me what customers do with their outside living areas now.
Give me some examples. Yeah.
Now they've got these fire conversation pits that have jewels and propane and everything inside of them. As far as outdoor kitchens have gone, it used to be 6 foot. You could have a little, a range, a little sink, and now they've got kegerators in these things. They're making them L-shaped with granite and backsplashes, and you can't do that without having first that composite roof covering, those screen walls, that area to be able to enjoy that. Most people come directly out of their house. They have anywhere from a 12 to a 36-inch overhang, and that's it. you're going to need some form of a roofing material, and that's why we brought in our Structall Snap and Lock panel. And this is showing people exactly what type of a roofing material that we're talking about when we talk about composite aluminum roofs.
Wow.
You have an aluminum skin on the top, an aluminum skin on the bottom, and 3 inches of insulated foam throughout that we can also integrate an extrusion for a fan beam to be mounted.
Nice.
So this is what we're doing all of our rooms out of now. No longer is it that pan roof. No longer is it just sheeting water from one end to the next. This is a material that is both hardy, it's made for our area, it's got 145 mile an hour of wind code, but you can also walk on it. What good is something if you can't get up there to maintain it?
Wow. Yeah, that's awesome. I love that look. That's a really unique style of building material. And it's
a building material now that they call it structural insulated panel.
Wow.
So that foam and metal, that's pretty much how it all started. But just as I was talking to Nick, he's had a room built where it was metal on the bottom, the interlap, and then they had an OSB wood on top. That enables you to do a roll form shingle. If you have an HOA that doesn't want you to have just an aluminum roof, if you do a roll form shingle that looks just like your existing house, that's how you appease that HOA and make it to where you can do that.
Oh, nice. Okay, so there's some ways around it. So you got all the tricks to the trade, it sounds like, Chris.
Oh, absolutely. And especially because we work with a manufacturer that's based right here in Oldsmar. They make this panel here in Florida, and they've been doing it for 30 years.
Yeah.
So if they only stuck to one thing and didn't change with all the different requests that they were getting from builders, they wouldn't be around for 30 years.
Yeah, it's interesting. We're talking with Chris Hatfield here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, and I'm your host, Brandon Rhymes. He's representing Tampa Screens and Aluminum. You've also heard Fred Muth over the years as well, the AKA the Tin Man. And these rooms not only add value to your property, they allow you to enjoy it better, fully, and then it's also going to be that deciding factor if your property comes between one to the other.
And that's why I say the insulated roof, that's something that you want to go with, because of the fact that if you just build the roof, we could come out and just build the roof, the posts, and the beams. You could always modularly add your screen walls, add acrylic windows. You could change it into an all seasons room, but without that insulated roof, it would sweat. So if you just did it with an old pan roof or something that's just a basic wood structure, some rafters, and then a tin roof over top of it, then it's always going to sweat. With that insulated roof, with the composite paneling, you're going to be able to keep it both 27% cooler and keep those cooler temperatures that are already inside of it from evaporating outside.
Wow. So it makes so much more sense to do them that way. And when you put that together, I first heard about this technology several years ago because I grew up with the Gramatica brothers, and I know they were in that business somewhat.
And they still are. They're based down in Palmetto. They build SIPs mainly to build pre-engineered houses.
Yes.
And they make them for the veterans. Okay. Now, Structall's been doing that for 30 years. They wrote the book on those structural insulated panels.
Wow.
So this is something that, there's a lot of different companies that are making this, but they found their niche directly into making, the Gramaticas have, into making their veterans houses. ADA accessible, everything about them. A wheelchair can get under the sinks and things like that. But you also keep up on your competition.
yeah, that's cool. Exactly. Yeah, so when you look at Tampa Screens and Aluminum here, you guys come out, consultations nice and easy. You sit down with the client, you go through the different options. Talk to us about that, how that would look like.
No matter what, everybody's got a budget in hand. They've got something worked out in their head. But what I like to look at first and foremost is what square footage are we going to go with? If a customer tells me that they've got a certain setback or a certain requirement that they can only go 9 feet, well, that's fine. But I like to draw out exactly what 9 feet's going to look like. You go to anywhere and try to buy a table and chairs, you're going to be looking at a 48-inch diameter table at bare minimum to fit a couple chairs around. Most tables are going to be 60 inches in diameter to put 4 chairs around.
Right.
You back out 2 people trying to get out of their chairs, if they're both going to back into a wall and not be able to get up and walk around, then you're probably not going to put that table and chairs there. So I like to tell people, I like to work out square footage. I started about 12. 12 is a good size that I know I can sell you a 3-inch panel, nothing that has to go extravagant. We don't have to beat to a 4, a 6, or an 8. As they get longer spans, people don't want posts inside of their enclosure.
Right.
So they want the engineering to be taken up by this panel. And this particular panel can span me out about 15 feet. So I usually try to tell people, let's look at that parameter. If they have a bigger size worked in, that's fine. I always like to let them know once we get to certain bits with our engineering, the price does go up exponentially.
Wow. Very cool, man. Yeah, definitely. We want you reaching out to Tampa Screens and Aluminum when it comes to these types of additions onto your home, the pools, the lighting. You guys that have that new design style too. It looks more of like a
like the pergolas.
The pergolas, yeah.
And
those
that's
are
pretty
awesome.
much taking. There's a good, better, best. You know, mobile homes were the first people to have the pan roofs. You know, back in the 60s, 70s. Then everybody thought, well, I want to put a carport on the side of my mobile home. That became the pan roof to post and beam, post and lintel addition.
Yep.
It was big enough to do about 8 feet. You could fit a car under it. Then they said, well, I want to do it about 10, 12 feet. Then they had to start putting things under the enclosure to make it braced because that metal roofing that was pan roofing wasn't able to span that far. Thus, the evolution of the composite that gives us much more of a span that we can accomplish.
That's right.
To be able to give somebody a bigger area. Now, those Renaissance pergolas that you've seen, that's combining the rafters. Those rafters aren't just cosmetic. Those are there for structural purposes as well, but they look like that beautiful exposed truss roof that everybody's going to right now.
Yeah, awesome.
Well, he put my room on over 10 years ago.
Nice.
Here's the picture of it. It's been through a couple of hurricanes.
Still standing up strong.
Never leaked, never anything in 10 years. All we did in this room was have fun. You can see it at 8462. I'll invite anybody over to look at it. His room is a perfect place for us to live in.
That's awesome. All right, when we come back, more from our expert contributors and our feel-good story of the day. More than 100 homeless people now have jobs through Autism Nonprofit. Right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Hey, this is Grant Cardone, and you're listening to Consumer Quarterback Show, hosted by my friend Brandon Rhymes. Do not touch that dial. I'll come right through the radio and grab your throat.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
This is the Cannabis Podcast, powered by Trulieve on Radio Influence. It's an inside look and the scientific facts in and around the world of medical cannabis. Now, here is your host, Ian Beckles.
He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. You're listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
Back, Brandon Rhymes here, your host of the Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty, helping you win in your real estate negotiations, buying, selling, or investing. We would love to talk to you and help you provide you that first-class service when it comes to buying, selling, and investing real estate with knowledgeable representatives on our team. We got 15 agents on our team. We're actually hiring agents right now. So if you know of a real estate agent looking to join a great real estate team, we are doing interviews, and we're selecting just a couple of agents that we're going to add to our team here in Tampa Bay. This segment is brought to you by the Lucky Dill Restaurant, the official restaurant partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. The Lucky Dill Restaurant, Deli, New York City bar. They've got a Brooklyn bakery, and they as well are home of the sandwich that ate Brooklyn, 4606 West Boy Scout Boulevard in Tampa, online at luckydilldeli.com. And they also have a great location over at Palm Harbor. In Palm Harbor, they do a great job over there at that location as well. And we're back here in studio. Our goal is to help you win as a consumer advocate. We're 4 o'clock drive time, AM 860 The Answer. Our weekend show is on FM 1025 The Bone on Sunday mornings. And we have our TV show as well on Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Sony TV, and 85 other smart television outlets. And of course, all of our content is shared across the platforms like Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, Pinterest, and much more. In studio today, we got Chris Hatfield, Tampa, screens and aluminum. In studio, we have Nick DeVito as well, lease to own properties, talking about getting creative in the real estate space. He's got some real estate properties we're going to talk about here soon as well. I wanted to let you know about our property as well. We've got a property on Periwinkle, which is 13400 Periwinkle over in Seminole. This is a gorgeous Pinellas County property and a great opportunity to own real estate here in one of the best counties in Tampa Bay, Pinellas County. 3-bedroom, 3-bath, 2-car garage, corner lot home with lots of extras, and great property in Port Marnock as well in Odessa. This property in Port Marnock is a golf cart community, a golf course community as well. Of course, you have the golf carts you can cruise around in, and there's no front or backyard neighbor at Port Marnock. And the kitchen has been completely remodeled. Check out that gorgeous light color kitchen with the aluminum stained steel. I mean, just looks great in the kitchen there. Beautiful pool area, lanai, overlooking a golf course. Beautiful home. Just over $500,000 is the asking price. Check out PlatinumMVPTeam.com. All right, so let's jump right back into it. So we got Nick DeVito in studio. We're talking with Nick about some of these lease option type programs, and he was getting creative too. He's saying that, you know, if there's a vacant land, you got a corner lot. Let's say somebody wants to purchase a car lot, you know, sell cars on a corner lot, Airbnbs, you know, or bed and breakfast type properties, flipper properties, moving up, doctors, retail, lots of opportunities, Nick, and it's a great economy to be doing it in right now.
It is, Brandon, and on that same note, if I can, paraphrase from the Tampa Tribune, I think yesterday there was an ad in there by an article in there by Susan Tyler Martin, and describing today's real estate markets, and it really struck me. It hit home to me. One of her interviewees, his comment was in I think it was Sunday's or Friday's Tribune. His comment was, "I'll always be a renter unless I hit the lottery."
Wow.
And that was, an article by Susan Taylor Martin. I'm not authorized to quote her, but I'm sure it's okay. Another one in the Tribune again by Richard Danielson, an article yesterday. Danny Rice is a executive at Collier International, and he says office, retail, industrial, land development, so on. And Collier Rice knows that industry very, very well in this market and all over Florida and the country, actually. And his comment was, we have the lowest vacancy in occupant rates historically we've ever had.
Wow.
So right now, buildings are filling up, which is very good news. And he also goes on to say, we're seeing declining vacancies. So people that want to build small office space or own small office space, banks are very, very, very critical, and they are not apt to lend you money. The easiest way to borrow money is for an owner-occupied house, especially first-time buyers and so on, as you know. But there's a pretty big market for these people, and we're here to say, yes, I would do those deals. As we said, we did a little medical office and all. Anyway, if I can just cut off and circle back to what we talked about a little while ago, and you mentioned call in, ask for Nick DeVito on any of these things, and I appreciate that. I just want to add to it. It makes me feel comfortable if they call your number and ask Brandon, because people call in, they may say, hey, I'm interested in a place on Schooner Way, or maybe I'm interested in a place in Newport Richie. So you can basically, sort these people through and who would be, good for your brokerage and, some of the properties you have. Sure. And then if they need me, bring me in after. But anybody that needs me, of course, Brandon knows exactly what we're about, and he can steer you that way. And lastly, I didn't want to cut in too much on Chris, but the products that he sells and does and installs, we put one on the house 10 years ago. Yep. Best thing we ever did. We use it as living space. I have 8 grandchildren, big family, 4 beautiful daughters and my wife and my son-in-laws. We stayed in there during the hurricane. Yep. A few years ago, and I couldn't give you a better endorsement. Never had a drop of water in the house. Yeah. Worst thing that ever happened is I spilled my beer one day. Yeah. So it's all good, and people that are interested in getting houses, fixing them up, buy, fix, and sell, flippers, or regular consumers. I like it. Yeah, so it's that outside the box type of deal. You look at it. If you don't get the conventional type of deal done, that's going to be your lowest rates, best possible deals in a lot of cases. You're going to be able to work with a broker. Again, we recommend Diane Vance on that side of the deal. But when you're looking at off-market opportunities here, we got some off-market properties too I want to talk about here with Nick. So Nick DeVito, lease-to-own properties, can help you with those scenarios. But we've got a property here, 4323 Bayside Village Drive in Tampa. I believe that's a 33615 zip code. Is that right, Nick? Yes, it is.
Yep. So you got a 2-bedroom, 2-bath condo over there in a gated community with a pool, exercise room, meeting, banquet rooms, asking price $150,000, and you have this owner financing or lease options available through lease to own options.
We do. As with all other properties, the lease to own is an option, and owner financing is an option too.
Yeah, owner financing. So that's great. So explain the difference. Maybe you got an owner finance means that the owner actually will lend you a portion of his equity, in essence, right?
That's true. You have to get the owner to go along with that. And primarily, there's one big legal difference that differentiates between lease to own and owner financing. On a lease to own deal, the title is held by the investor group or a lease to own company, and we have several. So now, on owner financing or on a straight financing deal, which we do, they typically call that hard money lending. Yeah. The title would be held by the occupant. Now, that's a little bit different from a legal point of view. Now, the biggest problem with that is, from both sides of the table, is that when the property is in the person that has the property in their name, if they encounter difficulties with the IRS or an international or a federal bank, the documents with the IRS state that the first mortgage holder is not the first mortgage holder. You're the second mortgage holder. So if there's a failure, incidentally, on the last 200 deals we've done, we've had no failures, except for we've had, people that we had a very, very bad case of cancer and, death in family, but it wasn't a financial failure. Right. And we were able to correct it. What we did is we sold the house and we refunded their money and gave them profits. Wow. Now, in the case of some really going deeper into this, an IRS or an international or federal bank document, what happens is the IRS comes in and takes the property. The bank or the mortgage holder does not get paid unless the house sells for more than it's worth. Right. So the IRS takes the house away and they give it to a legal group. They liquidate it. Whatever's left over goes to the creditors. Right. And the debtor is, of course, out. Now, in cases where we have severe, really bad credit, some people look at this as a safe haven. They get in, nobody's going to take a lease away. not the IRS, not a bank. Nobody can take a
Right.
lease. So what it does is gives them peace of mind. They can recover and repair their credit. And incidentally, we're not credit doctors and we're not credit counselors, but since I've had this going on for the last 28, 29 years, where I've stayed strictly in lease-to-own, I've learned that credit is not that hard to repair.
Mm-hmm.
No matter how bad you've gone down, bankruptcy, foreclosure, tax lien, child support payments.
Yep.
We've had people that have criminal records, not for violent crime, but they bounced checks and things like that.
Running from creditors, floating them, and
So they made mistakes, you know,
Yep.
and we've all made some mistakes. But anyway, we've counseled them. Really, really simple trick: take out a debit card.
Yep.
Okay. Be careful with your money. Put your leftover money in your debit card. When you go down, you buy gas, food, groceries, things like that.
that's right.
Make your payments. 6 or 8 months, you might be eligible for a credit card.
Yep.
6 or 8 more months, you might be eligible for a loan. What I'm driving at is you demonstrate your ability to pay.
That's right.
Okay, you're recovered. You're not in credit jail anymore.
That's right.
You're on parole, and then you're free.
I like that. And we also have the William Crowley, the credit magician, that talks about the way that you can leverage the Fair Credit Reporting Act, and if you make a claim against them, you can essentially write back and say, these accounts are wrong. This is not the way. But anyways,
and they don't have
William
enough
can help you
people
with
to
that.
get that information back to you, which
That's
I
right.
was able to fix one of the things on my credit just
Yep.
by writing them and saying, this is a formal protest. I do not know why this is on my credit.
Yep.
Please let me know why and provide documentation.
That's
if
right.
they don't have all those things, you already made your formal request. They have, I believe, 30 to 90 days to get that back to you.
That's right.
And it came off. I mean, just completely off of
That's
my
right.
credit.
Yep, because they're supposed to, before they put it on your credit report, they're supposed to verify it with you. They never do. So that's a violation of Fair Credit Reporting Act, according to William Crowley, because I've heard him say that a few times on this show. He's been on the show for 5 years now. So
Yeah, and a
I've learned
secured
lot
credit
about
card is another way that I was able to do that. When you go into a bank, you're able to get a $300 secured credit card.
Yes.
You'll give them $150. They keep that. They give you a credit line for $300. It's
Yep.
important never to spend over $149.99.
Yes.
The second you do, you've ruined your trust with them. And what they're trying to do is see if you can operate for about 6 months on just taking this money out and paying it off, and keep building your trust, building
Great
the
point.
integrity that you've lost with that.
Great point, Chris. Yep.
Without going
That's
into any
right.
more detail, exactly what Chris said and what your William advocates, it's just a case in point. And this is most people, the reason their credit is bad, it's not that they're bad, it's not that they are deceitful, it's that
Yeah.
they didn't know.
That's right.
All
That's
right?
right.
So if you talk to someone like William, exactly like Chris says,
Yep.
you find out a couple of these tricks, you recover. And anybody who in this world that hasn't made a mistake, I haven't met them yet.
Exactly. Yeah, me neither. That's right. So great stuff there. Nick DeVito, lease to own properties here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Chris Hatfield as well, Tampa Screens and Aluminum. And when we come back, more from our expert contributors here in studio. We also have a feel-good story of the day. You got 100 homeless people that now have jobs through this autism nonprofit. We're going to talk about that in our lightning round coming up here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Hey, this is Jarek Robbins. You are listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show with Brandon Rhymes. Please do what it takes to learn all that you have to live the life you want to live it fully, and find a way to give it by paying it forward to others.
Get in touch with Brandon online at consumerqb.com.
Ian Beckles here with my...
This is the Cannabis Podcast, powered by True Leave on Radio Influence. It's an inside look and the scientific facts in and around the world of medical cannabis. Now, here is your host, Ian Beckles.
He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
And we're back. Brandon Rhymes here, your host of the Consumer Quarterback Show, powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. And want to let you know about a couple of hot listings that we've got. Some vacant land available here in Tampa Bay, Hillsborough, Pasco, Pinellas counties. We got land throughout the Tampa Bay area. If you're looking to purchase land, let us know. We got about a half a dozen properties or so, ranging from an airport lot on Birdsong up in the Lutz area. We've got 10 acres on Tarpon Springs Road as well. Some great opportunities here in Tampa Bay. Gun Highway, I've got a corner lot available on Gun Highway as well, and ranging from all types of different properties. 1401 Seminole Boulevard down in Pinellas County as well. That's a corner lot, 0.82 acres available, 1401 Seminole Boulevard. I got 84 acres available out in East Hillsborough County. So reach out if you want to purchase land here in Tampa Bay. I've got the hookup for you. Check out PlatinumMVPTeam.com. PlatinumMVPTeam.com.
Somewhere sunny and 75.
And I want to give a shout out to Infinity Medical Institute. And here in Tampa Bay, they're right on West Shore Boulevard, and they help you live life to the limits. Live life limitless. Bio-natural hormone replacement therapy offers many advantages in restoring your energy and youthful feel. And the result of our treatments are enhanced lives and relationships. And there's benefits for men and women when it comes to bioidentical hormone replacement therapy offered by Infinity Medical Institute. Check them out online, infinitymedicalinstitute.com, infinitymedicalinstitute.com, or just give them a call directly, 813-871-2929, 813-871-2929. Make sure you let them know the Real Estate Quarterback sent you. Take them up on special offers and incentives just by mentioning that you heard about them here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. And we are back here in studio. Our goal is to help you win, and every day we're going to tell you something positive here on our Tell Me Something Good segment.
Tell me something good.
All right, so we've got more than 100 homeless people that now have jobs thanks to this autism, this nonprofit for autism. A nonprofit in Austin, Texas, is helping homeless find jobs while also cleaning up the city. In 2018, the Other Ones Foundation created a program to provide homeless with jobs cleaning green space in Austin and reduce panhandling. Since its inception, the organization has provided more than 130 jobs, picked up 60 tons of trash, and paid out more than $100,000 in earned income to homeless. When they come in, there's so much desperation, so much isolation, said Chris Baker, the executive director of the nonprofit. They become a member of our community, and then they really start taking the steps necessary to getting the housing to get full-time jobs. Currently, nearly 100 people sit on the wait list to start working for this organization. Baker said the next step is to grow. The company includes expansion 3 times its size. He hopes that this will help tackle that wait list. So very cool story. I love that. I was involved with feeding homeless down in South Tampa. It's been a while since I've gone, but the First Presbyterian Church down there on Zach Street, I think it was, they did a great job. Peggy and Mike, they did that. I would take my daughter from time to time, and just the paradigm shift for a young kid, an adolescent coming up wanting everything, taking them down there to feed homeless people, and you see these people, and he had a great quote, the desperation and isolation that you see in their eyes when they come in to get that hot meal on a Saturday morning and whatnot. But that's a great organization. You're putting people to work. It's a nonprofit. I love those stories.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, and coming from my family, we weren't homeless, but we definitely needed it at times. And I can remember going and waiting in lines at churches and getting those big bags, never really understanding what it was. But then as I started to grow up and make my own money and make my own way in life, I always thought that it'd be something that I would always do.
Yeah.
Once I realized that I needed help as a young kid to get through, that it would be something that I would always do. And we donate to Metropolitan Ministries. We always do the school drives and everything. My fiance works at Moffitt, so she's a social worker, so philanthropy is her thing. I mean,
she's got that heart for it.
Yes, she does. She's my angel, so she makes sure to keep me grounded on things like that, and that we do donate to, even though we don't have a bunch, we always make sure to donate a little bit.
Right, that's right. That's awesome, man.
It comes back to you,
Good
man.
stuff. Yeah, I love those. Love that part of our show. That tell me something good every day that we do. So we got Chris Hatfield in studio. Tampa Screens and Aluminum. TampaScreens.com is the website if you want to support our local expert contributor here. Nick DeVito as well. Lease to own properties. Talked about a lot of these different opportunities to get involved with the real estate market here. And let's go. I want to go back to Chris here. So Chris, what else do we need to know when it comes to this consumer advocate approach? What are some of the misnomers that you get at Tampa Screens?
Some of the big things I've been telling people to try to pump the brakes on is if you're going to have any other renovations done around your pool enclosure, you have to realize that all of those walls, everything that makes up the screen wall, there's usually uprights, stanchions, posts.
Yes.
And they're 6 foot, 7 foot, what have you apart. When it gets back to where it mounts to your house, nobody wants any posts. Nobody wants anything there. So the only mounting apparatus that entire pool enclosure is mounted back to is usually a gutter mounted under the fascia board, mounted to the drip edge at the fascia board. If you're having any type of wood repair, if there's wood rot or something that has necessitated itself in there, if you're having a roof repair, if you're having any of those things done, you need to at least ask them what they plan to do for the pool enclosure, just to make sure that you stave off anything that could be devastating, because of the fact that there's no way, or the best way I like to say it is, there's no way to trim out the cream filling between two Oreos without touching the cookies.
Okay.
There'd be no way to remove a roof with every screw going into the drip edge. That's that metal flange that hangs over.
Yes.
There's not enough room to work. You'd need to suspend the pool enclosure in order to drop it away to cleanly do your work. And a lot of people, that's just out of sight, out of mind. Whether you're not well versed in construction and you have everything done, you call somebody, that's fine. It's still your house. It's still something that you want to have some wherewithal. Just go out there and look, and all you have to do is ask. Say, what is your plan for this to make sure it doesn't do a problem? Because maybe they were just overlooking it for a second, and not that, roofing companies always plan, but every single one of us, even us aluminum companies, we could always just overlook one thing. And you, as the consumer, it's your house, it's your right. You should ask them, what is your plan on this, just to see if they have one.
That's right. Yeah, absolutely. Hey, get that screen room on your pool, your lanai, your patio, whatever you want to call it. Great in-between space on your real estate properties. It's going to help improve the value. And TampaScreens.com, Tampa Screens and Aluminum. Speaking of those Oreos, have you had the chocolate fudge one? The one that's covered in fudge?
There's a new, I think every time I go into the Publix, there's a new Oreo that comes out, and they've got some pumpkin ones out right now. They run, they had some red velvet ones out that were for a while. I can't keep up on it.
Well, let's jump into our lightning round here. We got a quick lightning round for you.
Round.
I am so good at lightning rounds.
I majored in lightning round.
All right, here we go. Top tips, nuggets of advice, parting words of wisdom. Let's start with Nick DeVito.
Thank you, Brandon. Most real estate decisions, if you sit back and look at them, they're a balance between three major things. It's cash flow, equity, and lifestyle. Of course, lifestyle means, is it the house I want? Is it the house I need? And so on.
Right.
So what I'm saying is, we look at these three things, and then what we can help you with, of course, the lifestyle is you need to pick the house. But if it's cash flow, we can help out. Of course, we deal with people with bad credit and no credit. But the equity, that's the big thing. Most people are in it because they are going to have this house for years and years. They want to pass it on to their family. And in our program, what you pay now, what you owe now, never changes. So when the equity builds up, you keep it at the end.
Nice.
It's a good thing to consider.
Good stuff. All right, Chris, real quick, we got a final thought.
Tampa Screens and Aluminum, 813-960-7064. Reach out to him on Facebook.com/Tampa Screens. Ricky does a lot of good work of making our website look good. Definitely want people to think about renovations whenever you're going to have anything remodeled on your house. If you're going to add block truss and a new foundation, you're looking at an average of $285 per square foot to add that on. Call me up, see what the aluminum aspect can do for it. I guarantee you I can do that for under 20% of that cost.
Wow. That's awesome, man. I love that. Great finish. We want you to please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. Pack up some food or clothing. Donate some blood. Donate your time. Lots of ways you can be a force for good in the community. We'll see you next time right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, ConsumerQB.com.
You've been listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Contact Brandon Rhymes at 813-670-7372. That's 813-670-7372. Online at ConsumerQB.com. And join us next time for the Consumer Quarterback Show.
Are you a real estate agent looking to take your business to the next level and supercharge your marketing? Hi, I'm Brandon Rhymes, owner of Platinum MVP Realty and host of the Real Estate Quarterback Show, syndicated radio and TV show talk program on iHeartRadio, 1025 The Bone, daily 5 o'clock drive time on 1380 The Biz, and our TV show is on WeBeam TV. We're looking for real estate agents that want to join our team and supercharge their marketing utilizing some of our innovative strategies. We utilize the Real Geeks platform, Facebook marketing, internet marketing, and a lot of the traditional methods as well. Postcard mailers mailed for you, postage, signage, business cards, all paid for by the company. Aggressive real estate splits and ways to help you win in any marketplace. We need you to go out, take applications, and work our plethora of leads that we're generating on a daily basis. Reach out by clicking the form below, and we'd love to have a confidential interview with you.